You were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, worked hard to put it in remission, and now you're worried it might come back. Many people with a history of diabetes worry about it coming back. If that's you, stay tuned because I will be giving you all the details on how you can make sure that doesn't happen. First, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you want to learn how to achieve your health and weight loss goals in a holistic way. And hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. Putting type 2 diabetes in remission or reversing it means that you have gotten your blood sugar levels below the diabetes range without needing to take diabetes medication. To be considered in diabetes remission, your A1C level needs to be below 5.7%. Some believe this isn't possible once you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, while others know that it is because they've done it. So let's talk about the steps you can take to reverse your type 2 diabetes and ensure that it doesn't come back. If you have had prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, I'm sure you've heard that losing weight can lower your blood sugar and help put your diabetes in remission. And this is true, but the more important thing to focus on is fat loss over general weight loss. Why is this? Weight loss is a combination of losing fat, muscle, and water. When you start losing muscle, this can make your diabetes symptoms worse. Instead, we want to focus on preserving muscle and targeting fat loss. And this is done by being in a small caloric deficit, eating enough protein, and eating the right amount of carbs that keeps your blood sugar from spiking. These amounts are very individual and based on factors like age, weight, goals, lifestyle, activity level, and various other factors. When you first start out trying to lose fat, you can use an app like MyFitnessPal or Carb Manager to come up with targets for your macronutrients. But if you have been trying for a while with little results or don't have that much weight to lose, it may be time for you to look into getting some professional help. And if that's you, I do offer a personalized nutrition blueprint on my website. This blueprint gives you calorie and macro amounts based on your personal goals, as well as a plan to reach your goals. If you are interested in that, I have a link for it in the description box. Okay, one of the most helpful ways to prevent type 2 diabetes from returning is to keep your blood sugar in the normal range. The goal is to have a fasting morning blood sugar lower than 100 milligrams per deciliter, and for your blood sugar to be lower than 130 milligrams per deciliter 1 hour after eating a meal. This will keep your blood sugar low enough to prevent type 2 diabetes from coming back. The best way to do this is to make at least 80% of your diet whole, unprocessed foods and regularly test your blood sugar to see how foods are affecting you. Even though we know a banana is a whole food, your body may not react well to it. Even a small banana may cause your blood sugar to spike higher than you want it to. This is why testing your blood sugar is so important. And it will give you the data you need to make the best decisions for your blood sugar. And my last tip to keep type 2 diabetes from returning is to take eating breaks throughout the day. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s like I did, this concept is very different from what we were told. Back then, we were told to eat all day to keep your metabolism up. The problem is, this advice is actually what caused the epidemic of diabetes. When we eat all day long and don't give our body a break, this keeps our blood sugar higher and never gives it a chance to go back down to normal. So when we are eating every 2 to 3 hours, we are spiking our blood sugar that many more times a day, which leads to more insulin having to be released to clean up the sugar in our blood. Eventually, this is what causes insulin resistance because insulin is having to work overtime and eventually burns out and malfunctions. If we want to avoid diabetes returning, we have to give insulin a break. And we do this by having 4 to 6 hours in between eating. This means when we do eat, we need to prioritize nutrient-dense whole foods that are going to keep us full and satisfied until our next meal. Foods like meat, eggs, poultry, seafood, fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds are all nutrient-dense and will keep you feeling full for hours. Keeping diabetes at bay is not a once and for all event. So even though you may have reversed your symptoms, in order for it to stay in remission, you must stay consistent with blood sugar balancing habits to prevent it from returning. Ever since my diabetes diagnosis 6 years ago, I have kept mine in remission by living like I did when I was reversing it. I eat nutrient-dense whole foods, I still test my blood sugar, and I take eating breaks to give my blood sugar a chance to return to normal. If you stay consistent with these 3 tips, you will have a much better chance of keeping type 2 diabetes away for good. Alright, I would love to know what your favorite tip was. Also, if you got any value out of today's video, please give it a like and share it with someone else you think would benefit from it as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Monday with a new video.